Hello, beautiful one. How are you?
Good morning, Mia. Happy New Year 2020. Huh?
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today to have a chat. I wanted this to be a real and raw conversation about what's really happening. And I know you are a little like me, another powerful and incredible woman who's made a lot of impact on many people. But you've also been through your stuff too. Would that be?
Haven't we all on some level when we drop the mask? Haven't we all? Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, sorry, my little recording here's gone funny. Beautiful. So I want to start with a couple of questions. You and I have had some amazing conversations over the last year. So really all ones, and I always come away from those conversations reflecting even deeper on what I'm doing and what I'm here for. So I want to thank you for those. Just a couple of questions I want to ask you so that those people listening here today can just start to see if they can tune into where they are for themselves, but also start to understand what this human reinvention formula is all about. So my first question here is, what have you observed with the many stresses of life for many these days? Like, what's your view of what's happening?
My goodness, Mia. So, I come from a corporate world in the financial sector. And when I look around me, when I walk down Collins Street, Melbourne, what I see in epidemic proportions is physical illness and disease that is apparent to those observing the people, perhaps not apparent to the person. And that's evident when you look at time off work, how much we spend in the health industry in Australia. We push to earn all of this money. We push, and then we spend over a quarter of the money we earn on trying to maintain our health or repair our health. I would have to say that without question, mental health issues at epidemic levels. When I think about my journey over the last 30 years in the corporate world, I think it's at epidemic levels now. And that's a big call to say, but the amount of mental health issues that I see for people in the workplace, just as a direct result of their career, is phenomenal. I see people in surface engagement. And what I mean by that, if you think about even dating apps, flick left, flick right, or if you think about people frantically scrolling through social media, I see people engaging in life at only a very surface level and not being willing to commit to presence. And the absence of committing to presence, the consequence is that we are separate. There's a great separateness to others. And what I also see, it's kind of intangible, but I really do see it, is the epidemic proportions of loneliness and disconnection. And I'm talking about some of the most successful people I know, myself included, when to everybody else in the outside world, I was at the peak of my success, winning awards and doing, really valuable, great work. I couldn't have been more separate and more disconnected and more lonely. So they're probably the most consistent things that I see. And it's almost like, if I could say to you now, because I'm transitioning out of that space over the last couple of years as I awake and transitioning into a more sustainable way to live and work and have the alchemy of life and work come together, it's almost as if that is the norm. That is the normal benchmark of behavior in society, that you must kill yourself to work. Everyone needs to have a therapist because everyone's got mental health conditions because they're pushing beyond the reality that's obtainable. That it's normal to engage in life at a surface level and flick left, flick right without even inquiring as to who that person may be. It's almost normal that we would be so connected on social media and have thousands of friends, but be sitting in our apartments alone on a Saturday night saying, my God, I wish I had some beautiful man or a gorgeous group of friends to spend time with. So that's what I'm observing, and it's become the norm. And when one chooses to step out of that, and this is what I've experienced in the last couple of years, it's been incredibly difficult. I come from a solid corporate background. That's what I've done for 25 years. I've climbed the corporate ladder and built my success that way. And 5 years ago, I stepped out. And then I hit a crisis point and realized that this wasn't a sustainable way to live. Um, but it's almost like when you try to step out of it, the mainstream then is, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want to do what it is we're doing? Why don't you want to be part of our epidemic movement of disease and illness and disconnection and mental health challenges? So it's pretty heavy, I know, but really, honestly, that's my observation. And I have to say to you that I move between two worlds, because at this stage I still haven't fully mastered bringing everything over to a way that is sustainable and a fusion of work and living and making money and peace and happiness for me. But I'm finding that it's less enjoyable for me to spend any time in that kind of realm, if you wish. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, I guess, with so much clarity. And as you're sharing these, I mean, I haven't been in the corporate world for a very long time, so you know it even closer than I do right now. And I've written this book even knowing that a lot of corporate women and men are going to read it as well. So thank you for refreshing it. You could not have chosen more clearly what I'm writing about and what I wrote about in the blog.
Wow. Well, I haven't read the book obviously yet. I'm excited.
No, you have the book. I just want to talk a little bit to loneliness. I just want to say, you and I know that intimately, and having been at that level of loneliness, and people are like, oh, but you know all these people, but it's like, you can be on stage and you know these people, all these people like your posts. And I mean, I went off Facebook and social media for quite some time, and I just couldn't handle any connection with anybody. I must admit to you, last year when I got unwell, just everything came crashing. I had to resolve it on a cellular level. I sat in this place here in the most stunning place on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and I felt levels of loneliness I had never touched. And I remember reaching out to me one day. Whew, do you remember that call? And we so raw, and my whole body is buzzing. It was so raw that you asked me to be there for you in that time, and I was really honoured and that I could. And I remember being there though, but I almost didn't know what to say, because I was on the other side suddenly, because it had always been me. It always been hoping that someone would actually take my call and have that deep conversation. So I talked about loneliness from a health and wellness perspective, 100%. It's interesting, you're talking about it from a corporate perspective. I the world of being an entrepreneur, a business owner, and I took on all the belief systems that it was going to give me all this freedom and this lifestyle, and it was going to be so easy. And it's been the biggest 15-year slog of my life. Like, it's just not been easy at all. And then I'm thinking maybe corporate would be easier.
Oh my God, you know what? I oscillate between this all of the time. And so, I stepped out of corporate 5 years ago and created my own company in an industry that said my work wasn't valuable or wasn't appropriate. And I still have to oscillate between corporate because of all of our suppliers and doing this entrepreneurial thing. And I promise you, there are days when I say, you know what, this entrepreneurial thing, I'm just going to go and get a job, and I'm just going to get a salary, and I'm just going to go to work and put on that grey suit, and I'm just going to go 9 to 5, and I'm going to go home, and then I can live. But that's always just for a fleeting moment, because, I've had a real awakening in the last couple of years to what it is to live and to be in service and to do work with an alchemy that actually, so I don't actually have a distinction. So I just share that with you. I don't have a distinction of a line between work and non-work. I'm being. I'm being in service, and I'm doing the craft that I do. There is the feeling I am alive and I'm energized and I am grateful and I'm joyful, and then separate to that, when I'm spending time with people I love, or my 12-year-old son Somerset, I'm engaged and I'm present and I'm joyful and I'm alive. And this is the little thing that I've tasted in the last couple of years through extreme hardship, going within, resetting, meeting reality where it's at, not where I think it should be. And I've started to taste this alchemy, or this fusion, if you will, of being able to not need to have the distinction between this is my persona and me working, and this is me living my life, because my work is living my life. Like, it lights me up. I get excited, you know, to get out of bed and message my clients at 5:30 who say, don't you sleep? Yeah.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying there, and if I can add to that as well from my own personal experience, I didn't have that line many years ago. So there was just Mia, who was passionate about, you know, supporting the rescue of children who are being trafficked. Mia, who's a sister. It was all me. But then I went through a phase of being so on all the time, so on to all of it, that I didn't realise this other piece that I had to learn. And I had to learn, I was showing how to learn, was this sense of just complete nothingness, this silence, this don't do anything, don't be anything for anyone. So it's really fascinating. So I know exactly what you're saying around it all comes together. And then what comes with that when you do the fusion, I imagine you experience as well, as you do still need to have some form of boundaries in your life to be able to flow and have your energy field actually full. Because otherwise it's constantly, especially for those of us that are givers, we constantly giving out to others, and it's like, hold on, am I giving out as to others as much as I'm giving in to myself internally?
Yeah, I love that point that you say, because I've only discovered this in the last year, and again, crippling circumstances have forced me to discover it. It's not like I had a handbook and went, which is why I'm so excited about your book, because seriously, if someone just gave me a handbook, it would have been so much easier to journey. But it's almost like critical circumstances forced me into the abyss of nothingness. And in that nothingness, what I learned was, I mean, it's horrible and it's excruciating and it's lonely, and you can have people around you, but you can't converse with them at a level that can bring connection. It's abyss. What I've learned is the active practice of nothingness. So when you talk about boundary, it's not boundaries as we know it, like this is my work time and this is my personal time. I actively allocate time in my diary and in my days and in my week to actively practice nothingness. It's a conscious engagement. And people go, what are you doing? And I say, I'm sitting. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, today I'm just sitting. And then my corporate friends go, you know, she started her business 5 years ago. She kind of lost the plot. I mean, she's sitting today. Like,
illness.
She must have a mental health condition. That's right. She's actively sitting today. Like, what?
Beautiful. All right, lovely. Well, thank you for answering that so clearly. I mean, we were going to ask you the question, what have you experienced through moving through these stresses? And I guess we've already kind of touched on some of that. Do you have anything else you wanted to add around what you've experienced?
No, look, I think that, you know, I've journeyed a journey that's been challenging in my professional life, because I chose to step outside the box and do work that wasn't recognized at the time I was doing it. But also in my personal life, I've had immense challenges beyond my control and not something that I willingly wanted to participate in. Trying to be a present mother to my son, which is my highest value, and then trying to manage and navigate all of the litigation, and never being in a position where I could ever talk about it publicly, or share about it, and to have it be unrelenting, like I'm talking month after month after month. So some of the other things that I experienced was absolute physical burnout without question, to the point that making a cup of coffee, I really needed the caffeine to have energy, but actually making the coffee exhausted me too much. Yeah. I've experienced burnout manifested in my body in serious illness, where, I mean, I've needed hospital intervention. Without question, I wish there was another way to language it, because I don't really like the term, but without question, depression. Depression on a level that had me debilitated to the point that I couldn't pull myself out of bed to make dinner for my son, you know, which I'd walk over hot coals for.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we haven't spoken about that I experienced and I didn't know I was experiencing because there was nothing to clarify it for me. It's not like, you know, you learn any of this stuff anywhere or at school. And you might do one body of work. Like I've done 30 years of personal development work. I've delved into everything I've tried, I've read or whatever. But it's not like you have clarity about these things until you have clarity about them. It was a lot of shame, a deep, 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 deep sense of shame. And shame itself, if you understand it, comes with a whole lot of other life impacting consequences. So, but just in closing, I guess the things for me in the short term, in more recently, as I've journeyed through all this difficult time, is the critical things I've noticed is a need to come back to presence, just here and now. And the biggest one for me was meeting reality where it's at, being here, rather than society, the benchmark. I say, everyone says it needs to be here, because the depression lies for me in between the gap of the two. So just needing to really come back to reality and meet it where it's at. And then I think that, you know, the practice of active rest and lots of mentors and lots of guidance. And like I said, this is why I'm so incredibly authentically, as someone who's journeyed some unspeakable things in some really difficult times and is pushed on to make the best of those. You know, I'm certainly not a victim of circumstance. I think that every negative, trying, difficult experience, as extreme it's been, has been an absolute gift. And the work I do today embodies every trial, every tribulation, every moment of shame, every hour of depression. You know, there were times when I really, you know, wanted to give up completely. But embodying all of that as a gift, and I now use that in an alchemy way to fuel the work that I do. And so this is why I'm so incredibly excited about your book, because, as I said, there is no one instructional piece or template or guide. When you're sitting in this situation, like everything I just articulated to you, I mean, imagine going and saying that to a therapist or somebody and saying, okay, now tell me how I navigate out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there is just no one collective resource that pulls together the mental, physical, emotional, worldly, spiritual, energetic, physical, metaphysical. Because I just want to say, like, my journey, I thought it was like just go see a therapist and have a few sessions and get my body physically healthy. Actually, it's been 1,000 different things, and there was no framework for that existed. And so it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of experiment, a lot of money, and I'm still fumbling along. So this is why I'm so incredibly excited about the human reinvention formula. And it is a reinvention. It's not about disregarding ourselves. It's about a return to like our true essence, our true self. And so the how-to that you're going to provide in this book for many people, I'm sure today, like people listening to this can resonate with even some part of what I said, yeah, if we dig deep and be honest. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing on such a real and authentic level. That's the purpose I'm wanting to have a conversation with you today, was so that other people sitting at home right now can hear other stories and actually go, you know what, it's time to actually get the resources that I need. It doesn't be wrong or weak or less incredible than the other human. In fact, the courage and strength it takes to talk truth and be honest about stories is beyond what most humans are comfortable with. So just to finish up this conversation with, I have huge respect for you. I just want to share with you about the human reinvention formula and the encouragement you've given me along the way as well to get this book out to market. I created it in a time last year where I was hitting the wall massively. I'd been up and down and up and down, and I was really looking out to the ocean thinking, can I keep going like this? It just feels like a never-ending process. And I'd look at the ocean and go, would it be easier just to walk in the ocean? And I know people are comfortable with me saying that, but you know, now I'm not, because I didn't choose that path, and I hope nobody ever chooses that exit point. The Human Reinvention Formula, my background has been quite strategic. I've been in business, obviously very much in the world of personal growth and development as well. This book is not a personal growth and development book. I have to say it's not personal development. It's far more than that. It's not a spiritual book alone. It's not personal development alone. It's not business strategy alone. It's all of us morphed together, and I've reinvented and I've had to bring through concepts that are true, not regurgitated concepts from gurus who taught me. They had a time and a place, but this is something fresh and new. You can expect in the book, you're actually going to read even more about my own story, which is a big deal for me to put this out. Most importantly for everyone listening today, though, is you're going to be given a real formula, and it covers every area of your life. It's not like the circle of life and you're going to look at work and play. It's far deeper than that. Please don't compare this to something that's been written out there before. We're going to go deep. But not only that, I'm going to actually be able to walk you through stage 1 activation, stage 2 collaboration, bringing in new people that actually can talk to you on this level. So you move away from lone wolf, and you can start to actually feel the support that I'm feeling today in the lead up to the launch. I've never, ever felt support like this in my lifetime by peers. It's extraordinary. It's more being support from people that want something from me. Very different. And the third stage is contribution. And everyone that knows me knows that no matter what I do, there has to be a bigger cause, a bigger play on effect to what we do. In this book, the 100% profits of this book are going to Miyako, my social enterprise, which provides startup education for social entrepreneurs, partnering with a whole bunch of social enterprises who have amazing products. As those of you know me, that I'm connected with the Amazon world as well, so connecting all that up together. A true reinvention. A true reinvention. So I look forward to anyone listening here today to join me on Sunday the 12th of January. That's this Sunday, 6 p.m. Australian time. I'm going to be in Uluru up in the Northern Territory. That came to me. I don't know how that happened.
As you do when you're launching a book, you go to Uluru. Yeah.
It was so strange that I'll be there, but I'm so excited. I know you're going to be there on the line with me.
Absolutely.
I need the support of my peers and my community. And so if you're watching this video and you know there are people that need to be on that launch, then go to the link below and I'll be more than happy to welcome you. Uluru was going to be, the book launch was going to be a book reading session. So that has now shifted to it's actually going to be an activation. So I'm going to do my work there in the launch, help you tap into the energy with Uluru. So if you're feeling that right now, then please join.
I'm feeling it. I've got like goosebumps all over my body, and I'm so incredibly excited because it feels like the birthing of something that desperately needs to be called forth and birthed. And I'm really grateful that you said it's not personal development and it's not this and it's not that, because we need a new way forward. Yeah. We need a new way forward. So I'm so incredibly excited, and I'm really honored that you invited me to spend time with you today and to talk about this. And I will definitely, without question, be there on Sunday. I'm just so incredibly excited. So thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, sister. Bye.
Bye.